So I was shopping in a hurry, trying to get my hurricane supplies. I grabbed 4 cans of what I thought was chicken. I come home, my cat's excited, she loves chicken. She just knows I'm cracking open a can of something. She can hear the sound of me opening the can. And we were both so disappointed. It was tuna. It was chicken of the sea. Chicken was the biggest word on the can. I should never shop in a hurry. This is JARHUMOR speaking. I want to talk to you about panic buying. So, I work in a grocery store. I usually say, I'm a cartoonist by trade, but I also work in a grocery store. Well, since the robots took my cartooning job, I work in a grocery store. I hope to someday do something artistic again. To make money. So there you go. Panic buying. I saw panic buying over this past week. There is a giant hurricane out there, and I live in Florida, and it's coming now in my area. We're not expected to get a direct hit, but the thing is the size of Florida, so we're all going to be affected with bad weather. And right now, this is the day. Later on tonight, it's expected to make landfall. In fact, I was just standing by the window, and I'm like, I better back up. It's a little windy outside. It's raining right now, but the winds were gusting. Even the cat didn't want to be in the kitchen. So also, I should tell you that I live in a mobile home in Florida. Fun. One of the guys at work, he's like, "What are you going to do? You going to ride it out?" And I go, "Yeah, I'm gonna ride it out." I said, "I don't know what to tell you." I said, "If we were getting a direct hit, my ass would be in a very nice hotel somewhere else. My ass would be driving out of the state of Florida or farther south." I'm either going to Georgia or Miami, depending on which way this guy's going. It all depends. But you go in the opposite direction. I remember one year I evacuated, and I evacuated to the path of the storm. It shifted. So you never know. But yeah, I looked at all the facts. I made a judgment as an adult, and I'm going to put that word in quotes because I don't feel like an adult. You never feel like you're prepared enough. And I think that's where the panic buying comes in. Where here's the atmosphere, though, of working at a grocery store right before a hurricane's coming. There is a lot more people than normal. They don't know what to do. These are not survivalists. These people are not conspiracy theorists like me who believe the world's going to end any day anyways, and I already have my dark winter supplies. I bought a couple extra things. Let me buy a couple cans of what I thought was chicken. Turned out to be tuna. Still, I got mayo in the fridge. Make tuna fish instead of chicken salad. That's the plan. You know, I did eventually go back and I got chicken for my cat. I had to make it up for her. She just ate some you needed to know that. I don't know. You never feel like an adult. You never feel like you know what you're doing. And I see this in the eyes of the people shopping. I see them just panicked. They're like, what do we do? How bad is it going to be? What's going to happen? And everybody has stories. And these stories, we need to stop telling. Like, we can tell these stories at a more appropriate time. But I found myself guilty of yeah, I remember when I lost power for 2 weeks. Remember when the water pumps went down, we didn't have water for 4 days. Like, I have those stories. And then this guy that shops at my store, he's from up north, he's from New Jersey. He's like, "Oh, that's nothing." He goes, "Hurricane Sandy destroyed my entire bottom half of my house. I lost a motorcycle and a car, and we didn't have power for 7 weeks. I had to go over to the Bronx to get a generator." I'm like, okay, your story's more impressive than mine. I lost a porch one time. I lost a shed. Okay, I've had roof damage. I mean, the place I'm in is kind of old. It was built in 1972, and it's been through it. It's a little haggard. It's had a facelift from the outside. A lot of the outside has been replaced. The roof has been brand new roof. because that got damaged in a hurricane one time. So everyone's got stories. Everyone's been through some things. I've watched my neighbors lose their mobile homes. I've watched them get knocked off their foundations before to where it's just unlivable. Where it's like you're in some Ripley's Believe It or Not tilting house museum thing, like an amusement park, and it's unlivable. You know, where the foundation cracks and things like that. Scary stuff. So I went to bed last night. I woke up today, and everything's different. Last night, everything seemed kind of calm and everything. I woke up to the sound of hammering and drilling and sawing. Most of my neighbors put plywood up on their windows, and that the thing that I find fascinating is they put plywood up all over their windows, don't remove any of their potted plants or any of their decorations, their lawn decorations. One asshole that lives down the street from me, and I'm so glad he doesn't live next door to me, has these giant wind chimes. I think I mentioned them in my Florida Man talk a little while back. Giant wind chimes. They make it a bong sound. That's how big. They're like dong 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 when they start going. Not a tinkle tinkle tinkle. Not a little chime. They're not charming. They're obnoxious. They're like a kid banging on pots and pans. They are terrible. This asshole, even though we're expected to get tropical storm conditions, did not take them down. He just put painter's tape around them. That's exactly what he did with the last storm that came in that was coming nowhere near us. Take it down. What is wrong with you? So I can't blame my neighbors for all putting boards on their windows. I can't blame. The news said if you have shutters, put them up. All morning, my neighbors have been sawing pieces of plywood, putting it on there. Did I do any of that? No. I don't. It's My home in general looks like I'm always prepared for a hurricane. I have nothing outside. I don't do anything. I just live here. Might as well be an apartment. I just live on the inside of it. I don't care about the outside of it. I didn't have to bring my barbecue in or anything like that. I put my garbage can on the porch. That's it. That's all I had to do. Storm prep completed. I've got my canned goods. I've got my jugs of water, which I always have. I'm restocking my dark winter supply. So a couple years ago, when they released the plague on us, I bought a bunch of canned goods and soups and everything like that for the dark winter. And that type of stuff, it's 5:55 according to my living room clock, by the way. So that stuff's supposed to last a couple years. Well, a couple years went by and I started looking at my supply and I'm like, oh no, this is all going to expire. So I was just eating like cans of like soup like every night for dinner. It's like, oh, these SpaghettiOs are about to expire in a month. I better crack them open. So weird stuff. I bought a lot of weird stuff during the plague. That was the one that took out all the toilet paper, right? That's the plague where how I found out about the plague was a woman's coming out of a grocery store and she's screaming into a cell phone. She's like, there's no toilet paper. I've been to 3 places. There's no toilet paper. And I called up my mother who was alive at the time and I said, what the hell's going on? She goes, oh, it's all over the TV. There's some virus, something going on. Ooh, it's 4:44, according to my thermostat clock. Nice. Look at that, seeing the numbers. So yeah, that's how I found. I don't like watching the news. I don't like relying on the news for information. I feel like they're always lying to me. So I find myself in a rather odd situation when I have to watch the news for things like this. I have to trust them. I feel like this is the thing. I know they're going to exaggerate, but they can't outwardly just lie about. They can't lie. They can lie about how society is or politics or everything else. They can lie about that. They can lie about everything else. But they try not to lie about the weather. They try, and but they exaggerate, and I don't like that because you don't know, and then you hear it from people. The people who were panic buying at my store all had the propaganda in their heads. They're like, oh no, this is... I heard the talking points. This is the worst storm we've seen in 100 years. This is bro, the barometric pressure. Oh my, bro, do you even know about eye wall restructuring? Like they kept saying the same stuff that they heard on the news to me. And I'm like, yeah, I get it. It's something we should be concerned about. We need to keep an eye on it. It's dangerous. It's dangerous stuff. It's the weather. All right? We can't control it. I mean, they can, the powers that be, the Archon, they can, but we can't. What is that noise? Oh, it's my alarm. I was meditating before. I gave up on meditation. It's too windy. You'd think that would be a good time to meditate. A friend of mine said, he's like, man, you should take mushrooms. You should take psilocybin during this. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like I might freak out. Like, I live in a mobile home. There is not tornado warnings and tornado watches, but a concern right now. I am in a tropical storm warning area. With that could bring a tornado. I was thinking, though, of taking psilocybin and watching Twister. I'm like, if you're going to go out, you might as well have, the best experience. I don't know, not the new one, but the original Bill Pullman, Helen Hunt one that I've seen 100 times. Just so I'm really into it, and I know what's going on, and just Philip Seymour Hoffman's like Bill is the extreme. I know all the lines from it and everything like that. It's a big dumb weather disaster movie that I just have watched so many times over and over again. I don't know why it's good. It's like Independence Day. I know Independence Day is kind of a corny movie. And it's big and it's dumb and it's... What's that guy's name? Roland Emmerich, the guy that does those cheesy-ass Transformer movies that just are too loud and big and obnoxious for me to watch. But there's something about movies like Independence Day, the first Independence Day and the first Twister, that I like. I don't know why. It's like a guilty pleasure. I know they're stupid, but also at the same time they're good. I like the dialogue in them. I like the characters. You root for the characters, So yeah. But I don't think that's what I'm going to do. If the power stays on, I'm going to try to get some work done. I may upload this for y'all to listen to. I may hold on to it for a little bit. Is it in poor taste? I don't like. Is it in poor taste to create content off of a natural disaster? Because I'm not trying to be exploitive in this moment. I don't know what's going on. I'm in a region where I'm also not presenting the news. I think that's why I feel like I may upload it, but part of me wants to hold on to it for a couple of weeks. I'm not the news. What I am is a commentator of just things. I'm an observer. That's it. I'm observing what's going on. So with panic buying, which is the topic, you never feel like you're really doing enough. I got gas in my car because I heard someone say, "Oh, just up the road, they're out of gas and people are coming down here and getting gas." I'm like, that's ridiculous. Stop getting so much gas. And you see those people filling up 5, 6, of those gallon type thing, the emergency gas cans and stuff like that. And it's that's crazy because they need the gas for their generators in case the power goes down. Power goes out. Power goes down. It just sounded cooler in my head. Well, if the power goes down. I got gas in my car. I had half a tank. I'm like, you know what? You don't know how the people are going to react, how things are going to go. You don't know, the pumps could go down. That happened. That's happened before. Pumps go down. Can't get gas. Society is this weird thing that just barely works. And it's terrifying. People who have talked to me about politics keep trying to convince me that I'm a libertarian. And I don't know much about libertarianism, except for the Ron Swanson character on Parks and Rec, which I think is very funny. But I, like, because, you know, you complain about the government. Everyone complains about the government. Just because you complain about the government doesn't immediately make you a libertarian. Just because you have contempt for the government doesn't immediately make you that. I don't believe I could live without society, without some type of governance. You know, I like the republic. You know, we have a democratic republic, and we have ideas that we try to hold up, and it really doesn't. I think nowadays it doesn't hold up because there's so many tricks that are being used to manipulate our minds. It's psychological warfare. And once again, that's why I don't like relying on the news for things like this. And when you look at an event like this, when a storm is coming and how people react to that, it is terrifying. The storm itself is the least terrifying monster. In fact, one of the kids I work with last night, out of sheer boredom, because towards the end of the evening, it actually kind of, people started not coming in. And we were closing up, and we started talking about how this would be the perfect place to hide in a hurricane, is in a grocery store. You got water, you got food, you got booze. There's a backup generator. It'd be good. And I'm like, yeah. And then we started talking about, well, what if a zombie apocalypse happened? This would also be a good place. It's like, yes, it would be, but I'm like, it also kind of paints this as a target because everyone's going to be going after food, so they're going to try to hit the grocery stores. And we're like, okay, well, we put the storm shutters down. We're looking at we're looking at the structure of our store. And we're like, okay, you got the shutters up front, you got the shutters in the loading dock, but you still have the emergency exits, and you've got the access on the roof. These are the things you got to cover. What are we going to do? And I said, well, the ice machine we could shove in front of one of the doors, like the lotto machine could go in front of another door, stuff like that. Like we were trying to figure out like how we would block off certain things to give us time. And of course, the most dangerous thing in a zombie apocalypse is not the zombies, it's the people. If you watch like The Walking Dead or anything else, the original Dawn of the Dead, like that was the biggest problem. It was Tom Savini's biker gang coming into the mall was far worse than the zombies in Dawn of the Dead. And then Day of the Dead, which is my favorite of the Romero flicks, is all about human drama. The zombie thing is like, it's there, but it's about the people. It's about the people with their own motives and their own, Joe Pilato yelling at the guy. I'm tired of you, Dr. Frankenstein. I can't remember the line now. Something that I'm tired of this Frankenstein, you with your experiments and everything like that. It's like, yeah, it's a great flick. I love it. But society is very fragile, and we're constantly scared about how, there could be the power can go out, there could be a hacker that hacks, and we can't pay for anything. And as we become more digitized and more reliant on AI and things like that, that becomes even more frightening. It becomes very plausible that everything could just go wrong because the robots are in charge. Because the robots made a calculated decision to just do something that a human being would know, hey, maybe we shouldn't do that. But the robot's like, oh, this is the best course of action. And it's terrifying. It is, but it's kind of the price for society. The history of the world is about these tribes and these societies, these secret societies, fighting with one another and gaining more and more power. And we give them the power through our attention, through our minds. And what they give back to us is society, is the structure of our society. And I think a couple years ago, when The Plague was released, that's when people started waking up and going, oh, is that what they're doing? Are they in control? And it's like, yes, they've always been in control, but there's always supposed to be like a give and take. We give them our attention. You know, they and I don't know what they definitely take from us. Taxes. But no, it's they give us society, we give them our attention, basically our minds. They control us on mass, and in the way that we build and structure. We're working together. You got to work together to accomplish things. And that's the thing. I don't feel like we work together. I think we work for our own self-interest. I think that's evident with panic buying. So another thing that went this time around was the toilet paper. That was shocking to me. I'm so glad I have some. It's just me and the cat. The cat doesn't use toilet paper. I use it. But luckily I had it. Had I not had it, I would not have it. And it would be like when the plague happened and I'm wiping my ass with rags, dish rags, like from the dollar store. That's what I had to resort to for like a week until I found crappy dollar store toilet paper. That was the first thing I found after I think it was a full week or so. I went without toilet paper. That was not something I thought in my entire life would be an issue, not being able to get toilet paper, and that's a surprising thing. You realize how fragile it is. Oh, this whole society thing that I just take for granted is actually a lot more fragile than I thought, and it's mostly because other people are kind of dickheads. They're very selfish, and they look out for their own self-interest. We're all guilty of it. But I feel the solution is a balance. I don't hoard anything, but I do have my supplies. I have my supplies. And I know more supplies were coming in. I don't have, like some people were having like fortresses of toilet paper and things like that. They'd go to multiple stores, things like that during the plague. That's gross and repugnant. Like but being prepared, there's nothing wrong with that. Looking out for yourself first so you can help others. You know, put your oxygen mask on first before helping your child put their mask on. Makes sense. It makes sense that you have to be in a good position in order to help other people. And that's what we have to strive for. We have to strive for being better people who are prepared, more adult, and then empathetic towards other people. Having a certain amount of empathy and just kind of respect that everyone else is going through some scary crap. And most people have more to lose than I do. Me, like, I don't know what to tell you. I've had a good run. I'm 42 years old. I've had a mildly charmed life. I can't say that a whole lot of bad things have happened to me. I've had my fair share of whatever slight tragedy, but nothing horrific. And if I got high on psilocybin tonight and watched Twister and my entire home got destroyed with me in it, I'd feel sorry for my cat. It's kind of a cool way to go out. I'm not going to lie. I'm not like mad at life or looking for a way out or anything like that. But I'm also not going to blow against the wind. I don't think that's a pun. I think I'm actually going for something here. I think I can't control this, but I have enough faith to know that I took in the information that was given to me. And I made decisions, and my decision is to stay and ride it out. Someone asked me, are you strapping down your home? I go, what do you think I live in? Do you think I live in an RV? What do you picture? Do you picture like a camper or something? It's a manufactured home. You've never seen one? It's just a poorly built home that's up off the ground. It's not something I can move. They're like, another kid said to me, he goes, well, can't you just drive your house somewhere else? No, I cannot. I cannot do that. It's a double wide mobile home. I can't. Even if it was a single wide, you'd still need someone with a very large semi-truck in order to move it. My double wide, like, I think it was put on this lot in 1972 in two pieces and then, put together. This is not being moved anywhere. You know, though if I was really rich and eccentric, I probably would have a really nice home and then a really big backyard, and then I would put this trailer in my backyard just for nostalgia, and I'd just come in and just hang out in here, and this would be like my little office studio clubhouse, just my tattered ass trailer that I love and I refuse to move because I'm attached to it. I was talking to a woman. I think I'll end with this story about attachment, because that's kind of the point I was making about how I'm willing to let go. I'm willing to let go of this life because I've had a good life. And I'm not so afraid of dying that I would sacrifice other people's well-being just to make myself a little more comfortable. I'm not hoarding all the toilet paper and the gas and the water and the food just so I survive and no one else does, or the hell with them. That's not society. I'm fine. I've made peace with my God. My karma is good. Like I said, I just want my karma to be good enough when I die that I don't come back. That's all I'm asking for. I just don't want to come back. I'll tell you this story. So I was talking to this woman. She's lived in a historic district of a downtown area. Her family has owned the house there since the 1950s. And she's got all types of problems. Her air conditioner is broke, roof leaking, this, that. And I was talking to her about my mold situation. She's concerned now she's got mold because of the conversation she had with me about the humidity lately and the mold I discovered underneath my bathroom sink because of a small leak. You know, things like that was affecting my health. And I said to her, it might be time to just let go of the place. She's like, oh no, James. She's like, I've been there, my family's been there with several generations. She's like, we got 14 dogs buried in the backyard. And I go, Jesus! I said, 14 dogs? I said, you're lucky it's not a pet cemetery, like like an Indian burial ground type situation, like a pet cemetery situation. I'm like, 14 dogs? I said, I almost wanted to go, should I contact the authorities? Why do you have 14 dead dogs buried in your backyard? This is over generations, by the way. This is not like, oh, we got 7 of them went this year. It's not like that. It's generations of dogs. And, oh, God, that's so creepy and so weird. And she's like, who's going to unbury my dogs? I go, no one. No one should do that. She goes, well, they got to come with me. No, they don't. And that's someone that really can't let go of even what is the remains of beloved pets. It's crazy. She's a sweet lady. I don't want to call her crazy in this, but that's crazy. Are people driving somewhere? Get off the road. Go home. Hopefully that's just someone coming home from work. Luckily, I didn't have to work today. I ain't working in no grocery store during this. They can kiss my ass. But sometimes we have to let go. We need to be prepared, be adults, be prepared. Buy what you need to buy. Do it, but panic is not the thing we need to do as a society, no matter what happens. Panic is not the right thing to do. Observe, gather information, make informed decisions, and that's a hard thing to do in a world where we don't know where the information is coming from and whether we can trust it or not. But be safe, everyone. Be informed, and don't panic, in the words of Douglas Adams. This is Jar Humor. I want to thank you so much for listening. You can find me anywhere on the social medias at Jar Humor, jarhumor.com. Jar Humor signing off.